Welcome back, dear students. Hope you are clear with Chapter 1 Nature and Purpose of Business. Today we are going to start a new chapter, Chapter 2 Forms of Business Organization. A business enterprise is an organization which is engaged in some business or commercial activity. First of all, you must know the meaning of business enterprise. What is a business enterprise? Business enterprise is an organization which is engaged in some business or commercial activity. Each and every business enterprise is separate and different from other business enterprise. Once you are decided about you have to start a business, then you have to choose one form of business organization. After deciding to start a business, an entrepreneur has to choose or he has to decide which form of business he wants to start. Whether he wants to start a sole proprietorship firm, he wants to start a partnership firm, he wants to start a joint Hindu family business, he wants to start a company. He has to decide, he has to choose out of the various options. But before finding out which option is best for him, he has to see the merits and demerits of each and every type of firm. Keeping in view, while observing the merits and demerits of various forms of organization, he will consider the size and nature of business he is going to start, amount of capital required, how much money he can invest, and the extent of liability, how much liability he is able to pay. So, after observing these points, observing the merits and demerits of each and every type of organization, then only he decides about which form of organization he should start. Then is classification of business enterprise. Business enterprises are broadly classified into three categories on the basis of ownership. These are private sector enterprises, public sector enterprises, and the joint sector enterprises. Private sector enterprises. Private sector enterprises are owned, controlled, and managed by private individuals. Single individuals, they used to manage private sector enterprises. Their main motive is earning profit. Examples include Reliance India Limited, Tata Company, etc. Public sector enterprises are owned, controlled, and managed by central or the state government. Their main motive is service. They work with the main motive of service to the society. They include Gas Authority of India, GAIL, Steel Authority of India, SAIL. That's it. Then comes the joint sector enterprises. The joint sector enterprises are owned, controlled, and managed jointly by private entrepreneurs as well as the government, and the day-to-day routine work is in the hands of the private enterprises, whereas the government control and supervise the work in the form of members in the board of directors. And the examples include Maruti Udyog Limited, Cochin Refineries, etc. So on the basis of ownership, there are three broad categories of business enterprises. These are private sector enterprises, public sector enterprises, and the joint sector enterprises. Then comes forms of private sector enterprises. After that, bache, we divide the private sector enterprises into five different categories. These are sole proprietorship, joint Hindu family business, partnership, cooperative society, and company or joint stock company. Now we will discuss about each and every form one by one. The first form is sole proprietorship. Sole means one and proprietor means owner. That means a business owned, managed, and controlled by a single individual is known as the sole proprietorship organization, in which a single person is going to start the business. He is the owner of the business, he is going to manage the business, he is going to control all the activities of the business. Such a business organization is called sole proprietorship organization. As you can see in the picture, the sole proprietorship, I am the sole owner of my business. He is very happy because he is the only owner of his business. Then we have one definition according to J.L. Henson. Sole trader business is type of business unit. It is such a business where one person is solely responsible for providing the capital, for bearing the risk, or for the management of business. That means it is that type of business in which one single person is responsible for providing money, investing money into the business. He is responsible for bearing the risk only, and he is responsible for the management of the business also. This is the sole proprietorship. Then comes feature of sole proprietorship. First feature is single ownership. The sole proprietorship firm, it is owned by a single individual only. All the money, all the capital, whatever money he is going to invest, the single person is going to invest the money either from his own wealth, or he can borrow the funds from outside to invest into the business. But ownership will be of single individual. Then comes formation and closure. There are no legal formalities required to start or close the sole proprietorship firm. There is no separate law for starting or closing such business. If you have to close your business, you can pay off your liabilities and you can close your business. There are no formalities because the only single person is there. It is his duty, his decision only whether he wants to start the firm, he wants to close the firm. Then comes unlimited liability. The liability in the sole proprietorship firm is unlimited. That means in case of business losses, not only the business assets of the person but the personal assets are also used to pay off the debts. बच्चे अगर आपकी कोई भी प्रॉब्लम होती है, डेट्स पे करने पड़ते हैं, तो हम आपके पर्सनल एसेट्स को भी यूज़ करते हैं इन सोल प्रोप्राइटरशिप. देन कम्स इंडिविजुअल रिस्क बेयरिंग एंड प्रॉफिट recipient. That means the one person whole risk is to be borne by one single individual, and in return the reward will be earned by the single person only. So if there are losses, only he is going to bear the losses, single person, and if there are profits, only the single person is going to earn the profits. Then is one man control. The proprietor is the sole owner of the firm and he has full control over it. It's a one man army. The ownership management lies in the hand of one person only. Some persons or manager, maybe he may employ some new employees, he may employ some new persons to work with him, but the whole control lies in his hand only. Next is separate legal entity. A sole proprietor has no legal identity separate from that of its owner. That means we cannot say that owner and the business are two different parts. Owner and business are one and the same thing. There is no difference between owner and enterprise. Business and the owner exist together. Lack of business continuity because of the death of person, individual owner, or insolvency, bankruptcy, or if he is going under any physical ailment. Because of these reasons, the business cannot be continued. So business is to be stopped over there where there is any problem with the individual. Then small size. Usually जो sole proprietorship firms हैं, they operate on a very small scale only because funds are arranged by single person only and work is managed by single person only. Control is also in the hand of one single person. So one single trader, single person can manage limited work, limited task only. He can arrange limited funds only. So the sole proprietorship business generally operate in the small sizes only. So these were the points of features of sole proprietorship. Let's recall all the points once. Single ownership, formation and closure, unlimited liability, individual risk bearing and profit recipient, one man control, no separate legal entity, lack of business continuity, and small size. Now we will discuss merits or advantages of sole proprietorship. First merit is quick decision. In sole proprietorship, all the decisions will be taken by the owner himself. He is not going to consult anyone. He need not to take a guidance from anyone, any other person. So that means he can make quick decision. जब बच्चे किसी single person ने सोचना होगा ना, single person ने decision लेना होगा, वहाँ time wastage बिल्कुल नहीं होगी. He will take the decision quickly and immediately. And secondly, when immediate decisions are taken ना बच्चे, in that case you can bring flexibility in your operations also. There will be no delays in the working in the business also. Then comes confidentiality, because there is a single owner only and he's not supposed to give his information to anyone. He's not supposed to publish his information, and there are no chances of leakage of information because of him only. So there is complete confidentiality of the information. Complete secrecy can be maintained in the organization. Then is direct incentive. Direct incentive means there is direct relationship between efforts and reward. In sole proprietorship, if the proprietor will put extra efforts, obviously his profits will increase. He will get extra income. So proprietor always feel motivated because बच्चे उसको पता है कि ये उसका work है, so he will feel directly motivated to do more work. Then sense of accomplishment. Because sole proprietorship firm, the person is working for himself. He's not working for some other person. So whenever he will be able to earn profit, he will feel self-accomplishment. He will get a sense of satisfaction that yes, he has done this work, and this sense motivates him to do more efforts also. Then is easy to form and dissolve. A sole proprietorship firm is very easy to form. No legal formalities are there in setting up this type of organization. It is not governed by any specific law. And if you want to wind up your business, you want to dissolve your business, you close your firm, then also just pay off your all the debts तो बच्चे आपको pay करने ही पड़ेंगे. Just pay off all your debts and then you can close your business. That's it for the advantages. So there are 5 advantages: quick decision, confidentiality, direct incentives, sense of accomplishment, easy to form and dissolve. Now next comes demerits or disadvantages of sole proprietorship. First demerit is limited resources. We are again and again discussing the same thing. In sole proprietorship, single person is there. Single person is supposed to arrange capital also. He has to, either he will arrange the money or capital from his wealth, or he will borrow the money from outside. Obviously बच्चे, the single person cannot arrange lot of funds. Secondly, इतना easy नहीं है that the person can borrow money from outside. It's not an easy task for the business. Lot of formalities are there. इतना जल्दी banks भी business को loans नहीं provide करते immediately without documentation, proper work के बिना. So it is not easy to arrange the funds. Funds are sufficient. So funds are insufficient, so we cannot start business on medium or large scale. Then is limited life of a business. The survival, the continuity of the sole proprietorship firms depends upon one person. That one person is the owner of the business. If the proprietor falls ill, he becomes insolvent, any mishappening happens to him, then the business comes to an end. Then is unlimited liability. The sole proprietor is personally liable for all the debts, whatever debts he has to pay. First of all, we are going to use his business assets, then we can make use of his personal property also to pay back his debts. So the liability is unlimited. Then is limited managerial skill. All the activities are performed by one individual only, but one single individual cannot be expert in all the fields. He cannot be a good salesperson, he cannot be a good manager. Obviously हर पर्सन की अपनी क्वालिटीज़ होती हैं. कोई पर्सन किसी चीज़ में गुड होता है, कोई किसी चीज़ में गुड होता है. सो he cannot be expert of all, he cannot be an expert of all the fields, and the sole proprietor generally cannot afford, usually because of limited funds also, he cannot afford to appoint highly qualified professionals or staff also. So he is overburdened with the work also, he has to do too many tasks also, but with limited managerial skills. These were the demerits of sole proprietorship. Then we come to the conclusion. Sole proprietorship is a suitable form of business for small scale enterprise. That means if you want to start a small scale business, you can go for the sole proprietorship. The sole proprietorship is suitable for enterprises which require personal attention and limited capital, such as local grocery shop, small bakery shop, tailoring shops, health clinic, etc. For such business, sole proprietorship is suitable where you need personal attention, where capital is limited. Only there you can start the small scale sole proprietorship business. Okay, now the next is one case study is there. Let's see. Manoj is running a general store under the name Daily Needs in the local market. He takes all decisions about business himself without any interference from others and get all the profits as a reward for bearing the full risk. In the context of above case, identify and define the form of business organization in which Manoj has formed his business. Obviously, it is sole proprietorship and you have to define it also. State any 4 features of that. You have to mention any 4 features of sole proprietorship, which includes single ownership, formation and closure, unlimited liability, one-man control, no separate legal entity, individual risk bearing and profit recipient, lack of business continuity, and small size. So you can do any 4 out of these. Then is Sri Ram started a confectionery business few years back. Due to continuous losses in business, he decided to close the business. He owes rupees 4 lakh to supplier firm who he had been taking goods on credit. His business funds are insufficient to repay the debts. Can supplier recover the funds from personal assets of Sri Ram as his business assets are insufficient to repay the debts? Why or why not? Because it is a sole proprietorship business. So yes, supplier can take his personal assets or personal property also to pay off the liability, to pay off the debts, because in sole proprietorship, the liability is unlimited. Clear? Now next is बच्चे joint Hindu family business. The business carried out by the members of a Hindu undivided family. Undivided family means जहाँ लोगों के बीच में divisions नहीं हुई होती ऐसी families. That business is known as joint Hindu family business. जहाँ पे undivided family, ऐसी family में बहुत सारे लोग मिलके इकट्ठे काम करते हैं. That businesses are called joint Hindu family business. Governed by Hindu Succession Act 1956 governs the Hindu family business. Conditions for existence of joint Hindu family business are there should be minimum 2 male members and there should be ancestral property. Ancestral property के बिना बच्चे there will be no joint Hindu family business. फिर वो sole proprietorship में individual अपना partnership या sole proprietorship में आ जाएगा business. There should be the presence of ancestral property. Then members who share profits and property are called co-partners. Whosoever become the members in the joint Hindu family business, they are known as co-partners. Earlier there were two systems of inheritance. पहले बच्चे inheritance में हमने दो systems पढ़ते थे. These were Deya Bhaga system and Mitakshara system. Deya Bhaga system was applicable in West Bengal. According to this system, both male as well as female members can be co-partners. That means sons as well as daughters can be the members of the business. And according to Mitakshara system, except West Bengal, it was applicable in rest of the India. According to Mitakshara school, only male members can be the co-partners. But in December 2004, one amendment was made in this act and the girls' daughters were also given the equal right. Equal rights to son as well as daughters were given. Both the system follow same rule. That means now Deya Bhaga and Mitakshara, both the system follow the same rule. Now according to both the system, both male as well as female can become the members or co-partners. Now this was the meaning of all Hindu undivided family business. Now comes features of Hindu undivided family business. First feature is formation. For the formation of joint Hindu family business, there should be at least 2 members in the family. Now what condition is there? 2 members. That can be male, that can be female also. And ancestral property should be with them. They should be given ancestral property also. No agreement is required to become the member, because the simple agreement, it does not require any membership, because membership is by birth. If you are born in the family, that means you will become a member of the business also. And it is governed by Hindu Succession Act 1956. Then comes the liability. Then comes the membership. Membership of joint Hindu family business is by birth only. It's by birth only. All members have equal ownership rights over ancestral property and they are known as the co-partners. Then comes liability. In this बच्चे, the head of the business is known as कर्ता. The liability of कर्ता is unlimited. जो भी head होता है ना business का, usually the eldest member of the family is the कर्ता. The head is known as कर्ता and his liability is unlimited. Rest all members have limited liabilities up to their share in the business. जितना उन्होंने contribute किया होगा, जितना उनका share होगा business में. Only कर्ता's liability is unlimited. So while paying off the debt, we can take off the personal assets of karta also. Fine. Then comes continuity. Then comes continuity. The business continues even after the death of the karta. Agar sole proprietorship mein you have studied, once the owner is finished, business is finished. But in the joint Hindu family business, bache, after the death of the karta, next eldest member, that will become the head of the business. That will become the new karta with the consent of all other members. Then comes control. The business is controlled and managed by the senior most member of the family. That member is known as the karta of the family, and his decisions are bound on everyone. Everyone is supposed to follow his decisions. No one has the right to take any decision. Then comes minor members. In joint Hindu family business, a child becomes a member by birth only. So there is no restriction for minor to become a member of the business. As you are born in the family, you are automatically became a member of the business also. These were the points of feature: formation, membership, liability, control, continuity, and minor members. Now, bache, next is merits of Hindu undivided family. First merit is effective control. as the business is controlled by Karta, and Karta is the head of the family. So there are no conflicts among members because no one is going to interfere. The whole decision is taken by Karta only. So this leads to quick and timely decision and effective control. Then is continued business existence. The business enjoys relative stability and continuity because the death of Karta does not affect the continuity of the business. After his death, the next eldest member become the Karta of the business, and he takes all the responsibilities of the Karta. Then comes the limited liability of members. Then the liability of all the co-partners except that of the Karta is limited to their share in the property of the business firm. That means their liability is limited up to their share. Only the liability of Karta is unlimited. Then higher degree of loyalty and cooperation. As the business is run by the members of the family, combined jointly they are running, so they will be loyal and they will cooperate with each other. They feel proud of the growth of their family business and they feel happy, yes, their business is growing, so they give their 100% to the work. These were the points of merits of Hindu undivided family. Now next is demerits of Hindu undivided family. First demerit is limited resources. The joint Hindu family business faces some resource problem. It has limited capital as its main source is ancestral property. Members do not contribute any personal money. अपना कोई money contribution नहीं करते. So there are limited chances of expansion and growth. And no doubt, if they want to grow the business, if they want to expand the business, then they can contribute money. They should contribute money. Then comes unlimited liability of Karta. This is the biggest demerit. All members have limited liability, but Karta is solely responsible for decision making, management, his liability, unlimited to pay off the debts. That means not only his business assets, his personal assets can also be utilized to pay off the business debts also. Next point is dominance of Karta. Yes, Karta manages everything in the business. He takes all the decision, and sometimes his decisions may not be acceptable by other members also. They may differ among themselves. There may be conflicts among themselves. This may lead to breakdown of the family and ultimately breakdown of business also. So कर्ता की dominance की वजह से बच्चे conflicts arise भी हो सकते हैं, and sometimes because of that conflict family can break and even business can break. Then is limited managerial skills. Karta cannot be expert in all the areas of management. He take poor decisions sometimes because we are again and again saying that all the decision will be taken by Karta only. He is a dominating member of the business. But he may not be expert in each and every field. So he may take poor decision which may lead to poor profits also, and sometimes the losses to the business because of his poor or limited managerial skills. We cannot say poor but limited managerial skills. So but in spite of merits of the joint Hindu family business, it is not very common form of organization, because if you will see in today's trend, joint Hindu families are being diminishing from the economy. ख़त्म ही हो रही है मार्केट में, इकोनॉमी में जॉइंट हिंदू फैमिली बिजनेसेस हैं ही नहीं. अगर होगा तो इट्स पार्टनरशिप, इधर इट्स कंपनी. सो दिस वाज ऑल अबाउट joint Hindu family business. Now in the next topic, next video, we will cover partnership firm, cooperative society and joint stock company. Till then, go through the topic, read the topic from your book. If you will have any doubt, do discuss with your teacher, and please take care everyone.